time will be like looking at a screen.
Yeah.
Exactly. You just got back today. Yesterday. So many people. I can't even watch. I'm away.
Tado? Hi. Tadamu?
Hi.
Oh, great.
Yep.
Okay. Wonderful. How's your connection?
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, but now they've come out to say that they will join because if they didn't want to. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, but now they've said that they will, so it's quite interesting.
It is a recent statement here by NUG.
Yeah, but I was thinking the recent statement as well. What about the rest of the folks, your Brotherhood Lions? And all
Okay.
that,
Exactly right.
Sorry?
They should be the ones.
Yeah, they should be right up
So,
I guess China has to sign off on it first. You know, like
good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, can you hear me? Yeah. Good evening, all. Thank you for joining us at the Foreign Correspondents Club of Thailand. I'm Gwen Robinson, Vice President, and pardon me. As you know, we're all here tonight to discuss the situation in Myanmar. We're talking about Myanmar 3 years on after the February 1st, 2021 coup, and apologies. Hear from key resistance leaders and the press, Myanmar and foreign correspondents. I think most of us can detect a very marked shift in the dynamics of the country's resistance organisations and a change in atmosphere as we're reading every day about battlefield advances, victories, and also constant reminders of the remarkable spirit and resilience of the Myanmar people, who are unbowed even as more than 2.6 million people live as displaced in appalling conditions, with more than 80,000 dwellings and public buildings razed to the ground, and endless, as you know, endless reports of atrocities and incredible savagery of the military campaign against its own people. Today, we've also seen a political advance with the joint statement by 3 key ethnic resistance organisations and the parallel National Unity Government proposing conditional negotiations with the military regime dependent on their acceptance of strict conditions. We've also just heard, as expected, that the State Administration Council, as the military junta is known in Naypyidaw, has extended its emergency rule for another 6 months, but this comes amid recent activity to revitalise and revive their talk of elections. Today they also announced a change or loosening of election criteria for parties to participate in what they would term a free and fair election. But I'm sure we'll hear a little more about the opinions of our speakers tonight on that. So I would just like to give you a little bit of context about tonight. We've billed it as an evening with resistance leaders and the press, and it's to mark the 3rd anniversary, and therefore, because it's a special event, we are departing from our usual preference to keep panels fairly small. You'll notice there's quite an array of speakers tonight. This reflects the remarkable diverse nature of Myanmar's resistance, and also, I think, at the same time, the speakers you are hearing tonight reflect one clear trend, which is a growing unity of purpose and increasing coordination amongst key bodies of the resistance. So we have represented tonight key bodies including the National Unity Government, the Karen National Union, the Rakhine State Interim Executive Council, and the Rakhine State Consultative Council, or KSCC, and the National Unity Consultative Council, or rather the NUCC, and the committee representing Pidangsu Hlutor, or CRPH. Each of these bodies, as any of you who've read anything about Myanmar know, has a critical role in the resistance effort, and the leaders are here tonight to outline their thoughts. We're also joined by 2 senior executives of the Independent Press Council of Myanmar, the newly formed organisation of Independent Myanmar Media, and we'll hear from them later, who've travelled here for our event. And we also have 2 senior members of our own FCCT who have covered Myanmar extensively over the years. They're joining us in the clubhouse. The other key speakers are joining online, apart from one who I will introduce shortly, who is with the NUCC. So I'd like to first of all turn to our first speaker, Sin Maorong, Foreign Minister of the National Unity Government of Myanmar. We will then turn to Tado Mu, General Secretary of the KNU, followed by Situ Mong, Myanmar MP and spokesman for the CRPH. We will then turn to Zu Padonma, First Secretary, Rakhine State Independent Executive Council, and Mo De Mya, the General Secretary of Rakhine State Consultative Council. And last but not least, of course, To Cho Laing, right next to me here, Councillor of the National Unity Consultative Council. So I'd like to hand over to Sin Maorong now, who's joining us from afar. So Dor Sin Maorong, the floor is yours. No, Kuntam, I think we're looking for Dor Sin Maorong. Yes. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, Dor Sin Maorong.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much all for and inviting me. And thank you for having this opportunity to share voices of a new Myanmar and to share with you some reflections and outlooks. This is the time of the 3rd anniversary of an attempted military coup and unlawful seizure of power that has robbed Myanmar of so much opportunity. And I saw our freedom being taken from us when those soldiers denied.
Kuntam, can we get her back? Sorry about that. She's dropped out? Okay. Shall we see? Is she back? Yeah, bear with us.
I'm back.
Okay.
Am I losing the connection, right?
Yes, you are using it correctly.
Okay, sorry
Yeah,
about
no,
that.
that's all right.
I don't know where am I, but I'll continue for the sake of the time limit.
Yeah.
And actually, during the time of the 3rd anniversary of the military coup, it was on an unlawful seizure of power that has robbed Myanmar of so much opportunity, and then I saw our freedom being taken from us when the soldier denied us access to our parliament in 1st February 2021. And our country where so much has been lost because of the coup of the February 2021. But the many victims of military injustice and the sick denied access to health.
Oh dear. Sorry about that. She's frozen up again. Bear with us.
If I only use the voice because of the
Okay. Yes,
internet
that's fine.
connection,
Why
that
don't
will be
you
better.
keep your screen off, and maybe when we come to questions, you could turn it back
All
on
right.
and we'll try it again. So please continue.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I could spend my time with you, remembering the sacrifice of so many and the victims of military violence must never be forgotten. And it is for their sake and for all of Myanmar that today I want to talk about not conflict, but rather conflict transformed, about where we are and where we must go. We recently issued a joint statement along with our ethnic alliance, and I do believe that one of the leader and spokesperson is also joining us. I don't want to spend that much the time on that. And but to see into the future, we must first recognize the extraordinary achievements of 2023, and this was our year of resistance.
Oh dear. It's really something. Okay. I guess you'll come back in. Kuntam, is it some bad line on her part, or maybe?
All right.
Yeah, you're back with us.
All
Keep
right.
going. Keep
Yeah,
going.
this was our year of resistance. Can I continue? or-
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. Sorry about that. We have seen the continued resilience of the Myanmar people against Min Aung Hlaing and his coup, and an astonishing story of courage that has embraced all ethnics and their religious groups and all different identity of my country in a shared struggle to rid Myanmar of military dictatorship. And the success of operations like 1027 and 1111, the continued effort of the ethnic resistance organizations, the People Defense Forces, the General Strike Committees, and of course the civil disobedience movement. All of these have been grown together into a true revolution. 2023 was the year when the military and the whole world learned, if they were looking, that the people of Myanmar cannot be defeated. There have been many moments of individual heroism that together make this revolution. I extend my deepest gratitude, as always, to the men and women, especially young men and women, who are at the heart of.
I'm almost beginning to suspect a conspiracy, some sort of cyber attack. Seriously. This is very unusual. So bear with us. It seems it's not worth switching to another speaker. I think we'll just have to put up with this intermittent. Dawson Marong, are you back with
All
us
right.
yet? Yeah, thank you. Please continue.
Right. I'm sorry. I will conclude
Yeah.
as quick as I can.
Yeah,
We
do you
have- we
think
have
there could be a
expanded
cyber
greatly the
attack going on?
Right.
Carry on.
We have expanded greatly the territories and our revolutionary control, and we have seen junta forces surrender when they have chosen not to be defeated. And we are witnessing a junta in crisis. So that is why we would like to ask our friends across the world to recognize that the junta is purposefully creating the present humanitarian catastrophe, the atrocities, the expelling of civilian population from their homes and lands, the burning of houses, and the denial of aid is at the core of their counter-insurgency strategy. Therefore, they cannot be allowed to control the humanitarian assistance to Myanmar people. At the same time, The ethnic organizations and our national unity government, and along with others, revolutionary forces, have responded to the humanitarian crisis created by the coup. We are delivering support for the victims of violence through careful collaboration with community-based and regional groups. And we have found new and innovative ways to expand our healthcare and education system to the people. And we have created even a banking system for the newly liberated communities. All of these are important in themselves. They are also important because of what they demonstrate, that in working together in a common purpose, Myanmar becomes stronger. We have learned to reject the old military tactic, replacing their divide and rule with our own principle, which is unite and serve. None of that will be possible unless we can transform conflict into a new year of state building. If 2023 was the year of our resilience, 2024 can be the year of change. The military coup may linger for a while, but it is finished. We will replace it. But first and foremost, a new vision for Myanmar is needed that recently we issued yesterday. And we reject a country founded upon the power of the gun. We assert instead a democratic, federal, and inclusive union that upholds the rule of law and the right of all people to live without fear. This means our future will be based upon local and regional sovereignty, upon self-government, and crucially upon a democratic civilian political process in which the armed forces have no privileged place in politics. For I tell you, I have had a
Yeah, so I think she'll come back pretty quickly. Yeah,
need
go
to
on.
conclude
Yeah, so
my-
armed forces have
my
no place in
statement,
politics.
All right, no military in future Myanmar politics, and instead we must move towards a new constitutional settlement and by that self-governments for our states and regions and federal units, the dignity and equality of all before the law, genuine participatory democracy and peace. So in this future, we committed to work with UN, RCN, and with the countries bordering Myanmar. They do not want a state that is run by the military. They do not want the refugees that military violence created. They do not want the criminal enterprise that Min Aung Hlaing.
It's just so weird. So let's just see if she comes back again. This seems to be a pattern about every 4 minutes, 3 minutes. Yeah, you're back.
Oh, sorry again.
Yeah, criminal enterprise.
Yes, 3 minutes. I will conclude. Yep. Yeah, what I want to say is that in our neighboring country, they do not want the criminal enterprise that Min Aung Hlaing and his cronies encourage. They want a stable Myanmar, and we want the same. This is our fight, and the only secure future for Myanmar is one that its people create for themselves, but it is also your fight because it belongs to all people of goodwill in Myanmar and friends of Myanmar and in the region and across the world. So I would like to conclude by saying that we are winning, we are united. This is our time, and thanks for listening to me today. And thank you so much for your patience. Thank you.
Thank you, Dorsim Naong. And we will come back to you after all the speakers run through their presentations with some questions. I think people would be very interested to hear about the statement that NUG and some EROs released today. So maybe you could tell us a bit more about that after the other speakers. Speaking of the statement that was released today, we'll turn now to Pado Tadomu, of the General Secretary of the KNU, who's joining us from a distant location. Welcome, Pado Tadomu. Please take the floor and let us know what you consider the priorities and challenges of the year ahead, both for the KNU and the resistance movement.
Thank you. Journalists representing the new IPCM and the Foreign Correspondent Club of Thailand, ladies and gentlemen, and the audience who listen online, thank you for giving me this opportunity to express our opinion and position to the world through you. I'm Sotadumu, the General Secretary of the KNU. Tomorrow marks 3 years since the military coup. In Burma's history, there were 3 times we have had a legal coup by the military institution. And I am not counting the 1958 military coup. With every military coup, the military who were in power but did not know how to rule the country only succeeded in making the country regress in its economy, social affairs, and administration. The 1962 military coup led the country to become, namely, Lead Development Country, LCD, in 1987. In 1988, the people rose up against and demand democracy. The military rejected them. Again, the military ignored the people's demand for democratic change and seized power. For the second, brutality crushing the protesters. After the second military coup and up to 2010, Burma has been a producer of drugs, opium, and methamphetamine, and millions of illegal migrants flood in the neighboring countries such as Thailand, India, Malaysia, so on, who are facing challenges. Thousands of Burmese girls have been victims of human trafficking. Hundreds of thousands of current refugee camps and IDP are rising. In our current IDP alone, it was 400,000. Current villages were burned down and wiped out the map. Current villagers were tortured and killed, and serious refugee camps appear on the Thai-Burma border. Now, in this third military coup, the entire country is set on fire. There are over 2.6 million IDPs. Correct.
All right, he's got a connection problem, but I think we'll give it a couple of minutes again. I am really beginning to suspect that there's some dark forces. Are you back with us, Tadamu? Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you froze for a minute. You were just saying 4 million IDPs. Could you speak up a little bit, maybe, as well? It's not that clear.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
You were saying IDPs?
Yeah, 400,000 current IDP, and current villages were burned down, and all the refugee camps, appear along the Thai-Burma border. It was, the 1988 coup and up to 2010. So now the third military coup, 2.6 million of IDP, and current alone is 750,000 IDPs. So the Rohingya still hasn't had a chance to go home. And the military dictators show the world that there is nothing I dare not to do through their continued aerial bombardments and modern jet fighter and artillery shelling to the civilian who throughout the country has disagreed with them. Ignoring the military's violation of international humanitarian law, where everywhere and making
okay. Just bear with it, please. Yep, you just froze, so we missed what you were saying.
That's why I said, the military ignore and the violations of the international humanitarian law and focuses of the military where it's everywhere and making the problem of Burma worse. Therefore, the people, including ethnic ERO, PDF and the NUG and so on are fighting the revolution in various ways. The military institution that is responsible for the country defense, challenging the people by saying, "Come out who dare to die" on Rangoon roads, showing that they have never been a dignified institution. Because of that, the people who dare to die came out and attacked them throughout the country. What is going on in Burma today is people revolution. It is great people revolution because it's combined the ethnic revolutionary forces that have faced this oppression for 75 years and the Spring Revolution involving with the young Burmese people. The military is facing opposition from all the people. So the military has collapsed and already lost. However, the country will not collapse, but the military center system will be broken down. At the same time, various federal states will emerge because the people are eager to establish a federal democratic union. The new generations of Burma are creating their own future. In areas where the military administration is absent, they are being replaced by the ethnic groups, administration, law enforcement, and public services. The ethnic group has been managing them in their respective areas for many years already. Various ethnic federal states will emerge. Therefore, we encourage the international community to support the opposition and the people who are trying to establish a democratic country. As the minority have been discriminated and oppressed in a multi-ethnic, multi-religious country, it is important to support the establishment of a union that has harmony, equality, and protections of the minority and democracy. Since Burma is one of the countries in this region, support the people trying to establish a harmonious and peaceful country. Focus on the people and listen to the voices of people. They are paying their life for change. Please listen to the voices. FCC is already collapsed. Continue diplomat support.
Okay. Tadomu, are you with us again? Are you back?
From
Oh, sorry, we just, you cut
Can you hear
out where
me?
you were saying the military already collapsed. Hello?
But
Yeah,
besides
you were saying the military already collapsed. Hello, Taramu. Okay, let's give it. Okay, Kuntam, can we get Pado Taramu back? Is he back with us?
Hello.
Yep. Okay, you were saying the military already collapsed. You cut out then.
Yeah. So why?
Okay, so we're getting a real feel for what it's like out there in the jungle. Actually, that's quite glamorous. Carry on. The military's already collapsed.
The military has already collapsed.
And so has your connection. Okay. Okay, try again. So we'll try again.
Stop the revenue stream on that the military killers. The military kill jet fighter that do not take off from the airfield. Don't sell Humanitarian crisis in Burma is actually man-made disaster, humanitarian disaster. So international organizations, including ASEAN, need to follow the humanitarian principles. They are impartiality, neutrality, humanity, and independence. In dealing with the man-made humanitarian crisis, party needs to communicate with both conflicting partners. The people who need humanitarian aid are under the rule of both sides. Negotiation with the military and planning to provide humanitarian aid is not impartial. Providing humanitarian aid only to the area where the military allows is not neutral. It needs to be independent in aid delivery. Conflicting partners should not be involved. The MRCS, the Myanmar Red Cross Society, is a proxy institution of the SAC. Delivery is neither independent nor impartial. Humanity is ignored. If any organization, including AHA Central, wants to assist with humanitarian aid in Burma, we request that the principle of independent humanity, neutrality be emphasized. We request the assistance go through third party, the civil society organizations that are not related to both conflicting partners. These organizations are border-based CSOs and local-based CSO and CBO inside the country. They have been doing this work for years. They are capable. If the military does not target the people and attack them, the people will not resilient by them. People will be resilient by themselves. The humanitarian crisis is created by military. What I would like to request to ASEAN countries in that the 5-point consensus would have been workable in April 2021, when the 5-point consensus are agreed upon. But it has now been 3 years. The ground situation and the military situation inside has changed, and the tolerance of the people in Burma has run out. The 5-point consensus agreed in 2021 could not be answered in 2024. The time to implement the 5-point consensus has passed. How the international community can help is to make the military comply with the 6th point of our common political objectives that we released today. The military cannot be persuaded, but must be pressured. At the same time, we need to find a way out for them. Therefore, we must find a way with that 6 common political objectives. And if the military follow, then we will form a transitional government. The transitional government must implement these common political objectives. These are to overrun the usurpation of state power by the military and to terminate the involvement of the armed forces in politics. To ensure that all armed forces operate solely under the command of civilian government elected through democratic process. To abrogate the constitutions of 2008 in its entirety and to quash all attempt to reinstate its provisions. To draft and promulgate a new constitution that embodies federalism and democratic values, garnering the consensus of all relevant parties. To establish a new federal democratic union in accordance with the proposed federal democratic constitution. To institute a system of transitional justice in order to address and remedy the throughout the country.
Okay, so bear with it.
and take responsibility to
Sorry,
remove the coup.
Pato, I think you cut out where you were saying transitional justice. Can you just rewind something, system of transitional justice?
To institute.
We've lost you again. Are you back? So, sorry folks, if you can bear with it a little bit longer.
To remove the military coup that creates instability in Burma and the region. I would like to express my hope that a comprehensive solution can be found if we center on the 6 points of political objective mentioned above in order to create a new peaceful, democratic, federal democratic country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pato. If you can possibly stick around, we'll be moving to questions after the other speakers. So we will...
Yep, I will.
Thank you very much. We'll turn now to Situ Mong, MP and spokesman of CRPH. Situ Mong, if you're there, and he will be speaking also through an interpreter after an initial introduction. Thank you very much. Welcome, sir.
Yes, thank you. Dear honorable guests, I am Situ Mong, the spokesperson of committee representing Pidawilutto. Firstly, I would like to introduce about CRPH. We founded CRPH in 5 February 2021. And our aim is to oppose unconstitutional military coup on 1st February 2021 in order to return state power to the civilian government. We held an emergency parliamentary session of the third term of Lutto session through a video conferencing held on 5 of February 2021. Our CRPH member is not only NLD but also other ethnic political parties they involve. Our mandate to contest the function of the Pidawilutto and to represent the people at home and abroad. We declare adopt 4 political vision to emerge a federal democratic union, and we declare removing of all ethnic armed organization EAO from the list of terrorist group or unlawful association. Revoke the 2008 Constitution, a constitution that was drafted and institutionalized by the military junta. And we approve the formation of the National Unity Government, NUG, and authorize the NUG as the government of the country. And we CRPH also member of NUCC, National Unity Consultative Council, included in one of the 5 main groups of the NUCC. As the elected member of parliament, we are involving in this revolution to build a new federal democratic country. We are not involving in getting a person or a group of people back in power in this revolution. The 2020 election results have made it clear that the political desire of the people represent the sustainable democratic transition and federal system for the country. We also would like to make it clear that the 2020 election results will not be dragged, will not be bargain political, but to use it as one of the required political strategy for the cause of revolution. Some of the people think that the validity of an election is 5 years. In the last week of March 2021, the military-crafted 2008 Constitution has been declared to be abolished by using the legitimate mandate. Since the 2008 Constitution has been abolished, there are no more time limits for an election. Therefore, the result of the 2020 election is a responsibility given by the people mandate and not a representing given by the constitutional mandate. Therefore, if you ask how long this election result will be applied, I would say we will carry out the duty given by the people mandate until a democratic, free and fair election occur in the near future. In doing this, the laws that will be useful for the revolution are being consulted through political consultation platform and the law are being approved and published. The interim union parliament that will be held in the coming day is being held according to the Federal Democracy Charter, Part 2, Chapter 5, Interim Legislative Duty, which can be referred to as an interim political agreement. On the other hand, the Min Aung Hlaing FCC is dreaming of hosting an election and finding a political escape plan. Since the FCC is an illegal coup, they have no responsibility or legitimacy to host an election. I would like to say that we were trying our best to prevent any action of the FCC that are trying to gain legitimacy both internationally and domestically from various military, political, and diplomatic fronts. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Situmong. We'll come back with questions. So thanks also for having a good internet connection. We now turn to our Karenni representatives who are going to update on the state of Karenni and their plans and the evolution of the Karenni state. So I'd like to turn first, I think, to Zu Padonma. Zu Padonma, you're there? If you're going first, and then Mo De Mya.
Okay.
Welcome.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and honored guests. This is Zuzu from IEC, Interim Executive Council of Rakhine State. So I'm going to present our IEC, how we are functioning and how we are facing on ground. Let me share my PowerPoint here. I hope that you can see. Can you see,
we
right?
can see it. Yep.
So today I'm using this opportunity to inviting to the IEC. So thank you very much. And I'm using this opportunity to present the unique resilience of our Rakhine peoples who live in the Kaya states, Southern Shan State, Garan Danangji Township area, and Nibiro Council area. The region that we live in known as Rakhine State, and we struck beyond the confines of the current Kaya state, sharing an approximately 200-kilometer border with Thailand. So notably that when we are speaking, when we are using Rakhine and Rakhine people, there's including like Kayan people. This is the structure, that's how we are functioning. I hope that Modinya, the speaker from the KSCC, can share more detail how we are structured in the Rakhine currently, and 3 branches of government, legislative, executive, and judiciary branch, and how KSCC function. So that's why I did not speak a lot. Does not speak a lot on that PowerPoint. So I'm going to point out only IEC issue. So our interim executive council was formed in 2023, respond to the person of difficulty. We approach like bottleneck approach, and then we aim to provide emergency services and establish the rule of law across the Rakhine. We base on 2, we stand for 2, like all inclusive, number 1, all inclusive, and collective leadership. So we have a lot of principle in IEC, but 2 main thing is the principle of IEC are mainly the respect of human rights and the meeting of democratic standards in the implementation. We are planning to set out 12 separated departments from 2023 June. So currently we are already 7 months ago. So during these 7 months, we already found like 7 departments under the IEC. So number 1 is Home Affairs, and number 2 is Education Department, Health Department, Humanitarian and Rehabilitation Department, and Planning, Finance and Taxation, and also Women and Child Affairs, and the last one is the Judicial Department. Since 2021, the military attempt to take over. The Rakhine people had actively opposed the military junta. So since 2021 to take now, every day is fighting in the Rakhine. That's why a lot of the region have burned down, and 250,000 people are being IDP in more 120 IDP camps. So within these 3 years, over 450 civilians killed by the military with the using like big weapon and also airstrike in every day, and a lot of houses are burned down. So currently, the Double 11, because of Double 11 operations, 80,000 people escaped from the run from the Loigo, and also 10,000 people from Peko. So we need more additional humanitarian currently in the Rakhine State. So this photo is IDP camp near the Pruso Township. So I hope that as you all remember the cases in Muso Township, Muso village in Pruso Township, 2021's mass killing by SAC near the Pruso. So because of that cases, those villagers cannot longer live in that village, so they have to escape from another places. So this is the second time that they have to move. So that people cannot stay in the IDP camp, and also they have to run again to another place because of the airstrike in the Pruso. So as I mentioned before, like every day that we are need the humanitarian assistance. So every department, like we need a right band and oil and other fundamental need for the IDP people. And also non-item food, also we need like shelter, like every annual, and also blankets issue that height in need. And also the hygiene issue is another big issue for especially women and girls. So we need those kind of things in currently. And for the recommendation to the all international humanitarian donor, so to receive and shift their humanitarian aid strategy and border-based assistance for IDP in the Rakhine State. And also the second thing is to provide direct funding or pass from the civil society organization who live in the ground and live with the IDP people, and then and also ERO assistance structure for delivery humanitarian aid in Rakhine State. Another one is we want to call the international community. So 3 things. Number 1 is to provide political and humanitarian support to Rakhine State and also across the Myanmar. And the second one is to ensure justice and accountability. And number 3 is to impose a global embargo and stop selling just fruit to the region. So this is what happening in the Rakhine and what are we needed right now and how we are functioning. IEC is how we are functioning, and how, we would like to call the international community and also the humanitarian donor. This is the first brief introducing. And if you have any questions, so I will be answered later. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Zuzu. And just turning now to Mo Mya, General Secretary of Rakhine State Consultative Council.
Hello, yes. Thank you for the opportunity to share the information about Rakhine State Consultative Council as well as what's happening in Rakhine State. So since you already hear about what our Secretary 1 of IEC has shared, what is currently in Rakhine State, and also I also would like to add what are we doing to like as a revolutionary force, despite the continuous attack, despite the struggle of everyday struggle of Rakhine people. So despite all those difficulty, we trying to brought ourselves together to build the Rakhine State from the sketch. So here I would like to share how this political platform and all those governance mechanisms in Rakhine trying to build together with collective leadership, despite the situation of armed conflict. Sorry, my screen froze. I will try to share again. Can you see the? Wait.
Not yet.
Okay, I will try to share again. Okay, I think. Okay, it's problem with my computer, but I will keep telling about what KSCC is. So
Yeah,
KSCC
maybe,
is
yes.
KSCC is the political platform, and we envision that we envision to make sure that our revolutionary force came together as a collective leadership to make sure all these governance system in Rakhine State in place with power sharing, check and balance system, and also we also trying to bring up together every can you see it now?
Yes,
okay.
we can. We can.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, but for the background, I think some of you may already know Rakhine State Consultative Council. We established in April 2021. Our first Congress held in 2023 January, and then the Congress has approved the Rakhine State interim arrangement and also the election of council member according to the interim arrangement. So this is our interim arrangement that we produce and publish it in different languages in Rakhine ethnic language too. So these are the English and Burmese version of KSCC interim arrangement. And our formation of the KSCC includes ethnic revolutionary organization. We have political parties. We also have Rakhine State Interim Parliament, formerly known as Legislative Committee of KSCC, before the reform in 2023. And we have this youth organization, civil society, strike committee, including KNDF. And also we have this women organization. All together, we have like 17 members of KSCC. But currently, we have this 11 council member serve in the council, trying to bring up together to make sure all those structure system in place. So as you might see in this chart, we, according to the interim arrangement of Rakhine State approved by a different revolutionary organization in 2023 January, we established Rakhine State Interim Parliament with 15 representatives and already established 5 committees and 4 departments, and interim executive council, which Suzu has represented just now, have so we have 6 members of council as a collective leadership, and we already established 7 departments out of 12 departments of IEC already deliver public service in different regions where our revolutionary forces are in control. We also have judicial body with the Supreme Court, Division Court, and Township Court. We have Township Court in different township. Right now, we already have 5 Township Court and we have 2 Divisional Court. And now we are in a process of formation of the Supreme Court. And all those, we trying to show that we are trying to build this, federal democratic union as a bottom-up approach. And also we also have now working on this Karenni State Constitution drafting committee, where the committee will start talking about this transitional period and also how this constitution making process of Karenni in the future. So yeah, in short, there's a Karenni State Consultative Council current set at and the formation, and then we envision a critical political leadership trusted by the people of Karenni State and revolutionary forces, political alliance, the international community. And we believe, KSCC collective leadership as a collective policy making body to ensure check and balance of the governance mechanism in Karenni State. So thank you. I think in a short time, I just trying to present a brief at a glance of KSCC and then Karenni State. And then I look forward to more question and answer from the audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I think also considering the Karenni also signed the statement today, maybe we'll come back to you with some thoughts on that, meaning the broader priorities in the year ahead. But for now, we will turn to the last of our speakers and then move to some questions. So I'd like to turn to Torcho Hlaing, a councillor of the National Unity Consultative Council, who's with us here in the clubhouse. So over to you, Koto. Yeah, you have to put it right in front of you. In front of you. Thank you.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Mingalaba. So on behalf of the National Unity Consultative Council, I am here today with you, and then thank you very much for inviting us for this event to mark the 3rd anniversary of the Spring Revolution. So our Spring Revolution has been made up of a very colorful fabric. We have CDM organizations, we have strike committees, we have women, youth, and labor and students unions, and including LGBTQ. Then also we have, people defense forces and local defense forces all across the country. And we have members of parliaments elected who are not cooperating with the SAC. And also we have the National Unity Government, NUG. So very firstly, this evening, all member organizations of NUCC really and respectfully and deeply appreciate and acknowledge their collective, coordinated, and active participation in the Spring Revolution. On top of that, we do feel our deepest sense of gratitude to all the people of Myanmar for their such brilliant resilience during these 3 years of hardships and difficulties. So now you all see very clearly that the military, the terrorist military, has almost collapsed, with the highest defection rate and the highest casualties and massive surrender and soldiers fleeing into neighboring countries, that they have never experienced in their history. That's really clear, with zero public support. They have no way, or they have no chance to continue. And then now, as you see, they are losing in all fronts. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, so now we can all see the dawn of victory. In such an important moment, all the revolutionary actors, we need to go hand in hand with a collective strength to crown the victory for all the people of Myanmar. And then we all unanimously agree, and we repeatedly say already in our statements that, we will fight not for the freedom of any single group, but we will fight for the freedom of the entire Myanmar. And as NUCC, we plan to convene the Second People's Assembly in March this year, where we will discuss and decide policies, strategies, and action plans to win this revolutionary war as quickly as possible. In the meantime, we will continue working to reach a common political agreement among all key revolutionary stakeholders. And also in this year, we will also try to finish the development of transitional arrangements and also a transitional constitution. And we are all aware of the challenges ahead, even in the post-revolutionary period, or in other words, in the transitional period, such as restructuring the country and also such as addressing the humanitarian catastrophe. So we are very much well aware of all these challenges laying ahead. And here at this point, ladies and gentlemen, we, the NUCC, like to urge our neighbors, Thailand, India, and China, and also ASEAN countries, and all the international governments to look very closely at the changing dynamics of today. And we like to urge to reconsider, to change the policy towards Myanmar. And we, deeply acknowledge each and every fallen hero as martyr of our, our Spring Revolution. They are always in our heart. And then also, we share our deepest sympathy with lives of innocent civilians and the destruction of the communities and properties and all the losses that, people have been suffering. So and with that, we, the NUCC, vow to bring the perpetrators of such war crimes and crimes against humanity into justice. We must end decades of impunity. Then they will be under the principle of transitional justice one day. And last but not least, and this is to mark the 3rd anniversary of the Spring Revolution. So I like to focus 3 key priorities. Our priority number 1 is to win this revolutionary war to exterminate the military dictatorship as quickly as possible. And our priority number 2 is to be able to name this year as the last and final year of the Spring Revolution. And our third priority is, with that hope, we will accomplish all necessary preparatory work for federal democratic transitions. And before conclusion, I'd like to focus only one key challenge of the Spring Revolution. That is trust and unity among all the revolutionary stakeholders. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Koto. We'll come back to you. Now we have Dawson Maong has to leave rather shortly. We are going to move to our panel here of journalists to ask some key questions, after which there will be time, I think, to take some questions from the floor. But first we'll have a few questions from each of our panelists, and I'd just like to introduce, and we will also hear very briefly about the Independent Press Council of Myanmar. So on my far right, closest to the screen, is Su Myat Wai, who is the Deputy Secretary of the new IPCM and co-founder and editor of Tan Win Ket, a Myanmar publication and TV, I think, media organisation. Next to her is Tozor Lat, Secretary of the IPCM and Editorial Advisor Consultant with Mizima News. And next to him is Mei Wong, Indochina Bureau Chief of CNA. And then next to her is Hui Yi Tan, Indochina Bureau Chief of the Straits Times. So I'd like to first hand over, I think, to you, Tozor Lat, kick it off very briefly, maybe welcome the IPCM and also the relationship now in coordination with the Foreign Correspondents Club of Thailand. Welcome. And maybe we can then turn to questions to Dawson Maong.
Thanks, Gwen, and thanks, FCCT, Ming Lava, and Sawadee Kap. Yes, IPCM, we recently formed Independent Press Council. Why? Because, it's not a good time to be the journalist in Burma, Myanmar. Especially, there is no one protecting that. There is a SAC after military coups 3 years ago. They took over press council too, MPC. Now there's a current MPC chairman in Myanmar is a former Lieutenant Colonel. And I think, so allowing many other institutions. And also, recently, Indian Press Council invited, someone from Myanmar Press Council. He happened to be son of the General Sote. So this is this is not a good time to be the journalist. The reason I'm saying is, at the moment we are press freedom index 180 out of 173. Before the military coups in 2022, we are 139. 1 point ahead of Thailand. Thailand was 140 because of military coups here. That's how we were a bit more free and relaxed. And also recent, harsh punishment of our college. Shin Dewi, filmmaker, to the life sentence. And although she was not the first one, there was previously one other journalist in 2021 in Taungu got another life sentence. So far there are 52 journalists behind bar facing, from life sentence, 20 years, and harsh punishment. And also there are more than 20 media houses revoked, including both Mizima. I used to work for TVB. Our license, broadcast license have been revoked. And there is a deliberate attempt to, there is an invincible line to punish, harsh punishment to journalists. That's why we decided to found an Independent Press Council. We are like one foot in, one foot out strategy. We are physically here, but most of our journalists undercover working inside and stay doing our reporting back to our own country. So they were recently, it took 1 year, and we did two conferences, and then finally we able to found this Independent Press Council. thanks for that. And then we are also, thanks for FCCT, both helping and also a few other Thai journalist association, TJ and Press Council, and also other regional press council, East Timorese, and helping us to stood on our own feet. And so this is the beginning of the newly established our independent press council of Myanmar. So far, there is, like many other institutions, we have two press council. One is under SAC and headed by the former Lieutenant Colonel. One is here with our independent journalists.
We might say the legitimate one is here. Okay, thank you very much. And we'd like to turn now to questions and maybe start with Dorsin Marong, if you're still with us. Dorsin Marong. And I hope your internet is working again. And Kuntam, can we turn down the big light so we can see her on the screen? We need Dorsin Marong. And the first question, maybe Sumyat or Tozolat, and then we'll turn to...
Can I have a quick question?
Yes.
With Marong? Thanks for your presentation. You said 2024 as a year of change. And also today's statement is only 3 ethnic groups plus NUG. What about those 3 other brotherhood alliance in the northern Shan State, in the Thailand, in the China border, and the Kachin? And so you had 2024 change. Who is included, who is excluded? What is the plan for their included? 2024 years of change.
Can we check that she's still with us? You might have to repeat that. Kuntam, is Dorsin Marong with us?
Yes, I still have, but at the same time I'm joining another event. I will respond as much as possible.
Thank you.
Yes, and then I think as you already noticed that today statements and spokesperson and counterperson already mentioned in the statement. Actually, I'm not the spokesperson for that, but I will say that it is not just only K2C, let's say, and NUG, but also we also have the broad discussions and collaborations with others stakeholders, but some are still difficult to make a publicly involvement in statement. But politically, NUG, I would say, NUG has a bilateral and multilateral engagement with different stakeholders, including the Northern Alliance, I will say. So, but I think it is better to ask them directly, because I don't have the right to represent their voice currently. But what I will say is that NUG is quite open and broaden engagement with different ethnic alliance groups, not just only with the K2C, but we also have good communications and collaborations and multilateral and bilateral engagement with different stakeholders. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And I think we have a question from May Wong, and then maybe after that,
Yeah,
Sunya.
that's right. Hi, good evening. Zin Maong, thank you very much for joining us here in the panel. Unfortunately, we can't see you, but hopefully you can hear my questions. I will whittle it down to 2 questions.
Yes,
for
only
you.
2, May.
Only 2 for now. My first question is going back to your statement that was released today as part of the action plan. It was outlined that negotiations with the responsible leadership of the Myanmar military will actually take place if they subscribe to your unconditional acceptance of the 6 political objectives. Can you talk us through as to why you have seemingly departed from a no negotiation standpoint with the military to now potentially discussing with them if they accept your 6-point objectives? My second question is, there has been greater murmurings about the fact that the stepped up engagements with the SAC through appointment of new ambassadors, through additional talks, for example, by countries with the SAC, it could possibly signal that some countries are thinking of carving out exit strategies for the military chief. What do you make of that? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I will start with your last question. According to my experience and engagement with the international community and a diplomatic community, some of the, even the leading countries are trying to find way out for the military in this crisis. But our position is that, and that question is also, I would like to link your first question either. Because many international community, including our neighboring countries and a regional association like ASEAN, are very much putting pressure for the inclusive dialogue. In order to respond to that, we need to have our own conditions and we need to show what are the do's and don'ts positions of our revolutionary forces in order to engage with the international community and respond to that kind of very critical questions. Because sometimes the way we respond, and if there is no answer and vision and objectives and positions, that will be misinterpreted by the international community. So that is why we also discuss with our co-alliance, and of course our ground rules, which is really based on our own principle. That was you know, we already have agreement on federal democracy charter, but the only thing we are focusing on is that the visioning, and of course in order to bring that vision in Myanmar, we need to have the preconditions and conditions. So this is the reason why we need to develop our positions. We wouldn't say it is the calling for a dialogue. We are just setting up our own principle for vision in Myanmar, and this is, you know, each and every movement and state building, nation building should have the objectives. So this is the objective, which is based on our democratic and federal principle, which is in line with the Federal Democracy Charter. Thank you so much. I think I answered your question.
Thank you very much. Can you take one or two others? I think Sumyat and then Huiyi, if you have one, and then we'll turn to Taromu.
Okay, but I would like to ask to Ms. Seva. So my question is related with the refugees. So as everyone knows, so there are a lot of refugees in Thailand and also the neighborhood country. So when we went to Rakhine State, so the border of Rakhine and Thai border. So if so, what we see that so the Rakhine ethnic government, so they can build the trust with the Thai government. So, but even this area, so the refugee, so they have the pressure so to go back to their local area. So Thai government asked them so to go back to their local area. So that means so, and also the refugee number is also increases. So like according to the data, so it is 5 million. So I would like to know that so. At the same time, so General Min Aung Hlaing, so he so he has the connection with the neighborhood country governments. He did a lot of meeting with Thai Rakhine Army and also the Chinese government. So that's why what's the strategy of your future? So this beyond 3 years. So what's your strategy with the relationship with the neighborhood government? So thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll quickly respond to you because my time is you know quite
Yeah.
shrinking us. We already discussed and answered that kind of questions recently in some interviews, and of course we also issued the statement on position regarding to our neighboring countries, and of course Thailand is one of the most immediate neighbor of Myanmar and hosting a very large amount of diaspora and our citizens. So for us, we are very much open to engage with Thai government, not just only newly elected and newly formed government, but also previous government. From our part, we continuously communicate and with them in order to prevent the safety nets of our people and of course not to send back the refugees and our people who are facing quite very dangerous humanitarian assistance and of course their security. So yeah, for me, I would say that we are doing very seriously and engaging and requesting our neighboring country, including especially Thailand, to discuss about the situations of the people who are now residing in Thailand and border and refugee issue also. And not just only with us, but also we are also cooperating with our Ethnic Alliance. I think Padu can also share a little bit more about that, because we already addressed the humanitarian and forum in order to provide what our people needs on the ground, and of course on the other hand the security and safety nets of our people who are inside Burma. So I myself continuously and working and request based on the each and every case happen, and also of course we also communicate based on our principle-based engagement, which is that please don't send back our people to the hand of the military junta. So please still allow us and provide the safe space for those who are being under pressure and the risks because of the military coup. We also already sent our United Nations and ASEAN, ASEAN member states also, not just only our neighboring country. So yeah, I think you will get my answer. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, please allow me to leave that. I'm
Yes.
on the speaker list for the next meeting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dosin Maong, for joining us tonight, and good luck. Maybe we could change to a group view of the screen, and we'll turn to Pado Tadomu, and after that, anyone that any of you would like to ask a question. But I would like to suggest that your question, Tozolat, to Zinmarong, could also be asked to Pado Tadomu about why the Kachin did not sign the statement today, and the plans to engage other. You might want to repeat that. I don't know.
Oh yeah, because Pado Tadomu is one of the signatories about the today specific statement about the.
Let's just see if we can switch. Can we switch to a group view, Kuntam, on the screen? And is Pado Tadomu still with us?
Because I mean the three brotherhood literally occupy a lot of townships in China border, Kokan, 6, TNLA 7, and also A very sizable number. So far 32 township and resistant. So the lion's share go to three brotherhoods plus Kachin. How to include that one? And also for Pado Tadomu, another specific question about humanitarian corridor or safe area that Thai Foreign Ministry recently initiated. We know that there are 1,320 kilometer share with Thai-Burma border. Mainly it is in the current area, Tak and Mae Hong Son. what happened on the ground? You mentioned that you don't want, I mean, should be humanitarian aid should be impartial, because if it is going through SAC, maybe very difficult. What other option? Is there any other cross-border humanitarian option happening, or from the Thai side? What are the latest development about these, so-called humanitarian corridor or safe area that Thai new foreign minister talking about?
Thank you. And Kuntam, can we just turn down the big light so that we can see? Yeah. Thank you. Pato, over to you. Can you hear us?
Okay.
Oh,
so
that's good.
thank you for the questions, Shatuzola. Humanitarian corridor idea, actually, we hasn't have a chance to be conserved. So that's why we are hoping that sooner or later, we are hoping to meet and consult about that. So, but what I would like to say is like, we are sharing the border. So the problem from Burma and also, the humanitarian crisis is direct or indirectly very easy to affect our neighboring country, especially for Thailand. So that's why we are very much concerned that the humanitarian aids and deliveries of aids must be, in line with the humanitarian principles. So that's why we are very much, loudly we are advocating to the ASEAN. So we have that plan already submitted our proposal to ASEAN, ministries, foreign ministers last year. That we call Inclusive Humanitarian Forum. So AHA Center approach is go directly to the SAC, but that is, if you compare with the humanitarian principle, that is impartial. So that's why we would like our neighboring country, especially the ASEAN, AHA Center approach, and as well as any humanitarian organizational, approach on the issue. We are hoping that for them to engage directly to the third party who really not related to the among the conflicting partners. So that's why, because the SAC, the SAC is creating the humanitarian crisis. So they are weaponized that crisis, and they want to weaponize again through the AIDS. So that's why that is very much clearly that what we all should understand. So that's why why the people who are in Burma is still survival and also still surviving and also resilient is about the local civil society organization and local community-based organization support. They are quietly and they are capable and functionally, because of their support. So that's why we very much, strongly would like to urge any organization who want to support, please contact them through them so they know many different channels because they have been serving in that, humanitarian area for years. So that's why for the current, we have our current civil society border-based and also the current civil society inside. So similarly, the currently also the same, and the other ethnic also they have the same. And including with the Sagai Magui, they have their own civil society organization who supporting that. So that's why these are very much important and very valuable channel for the humanitarian donor, those who want to support. So thank you. Maybe I hope my answer can,
Yeah, coming back though to the element that also Coach Tozolat mentioned about, could you give us any kind of insight into the interactions between particularly KNU and K2C, which signed that statement, with the other ethnic groups and alliances such as Three Brotherhood Alliance or some of the others that haven't been so out there about engaging in the way you have? What is the scope for broadening that?
That is actually, thank you for the question. That is actually the phase-based approach. according to the time frame and the limitations, we just have to, expose those who are ready to expose themselves. So that's why that's common principle is not only our 4-5 group. There will be a process to go through all around all the regime, anti-coup movement organizations. So to be all broadly, to be able, convinced and also conserve, and we welcome their endorsement, and then later, finally, we all are in one position. So that is the process. So that's why, according to the time limitation, and also the good time that to be released today, so that's why only those who are ready to be, named at what you see. Thank you.
So you are saying that this is just the beginning, and you would expect more such statements and more engagement with other EROs?
Yep.
Okay. Hui Yi, yeah. This is Hui Yi Tan from Straits Times.
Good evening, this is Hui Yi Tan from the Straits Times. I understand that this is a phase-based approach, but what role do you see for the groups that, despite your persuasion, to not eventually sign on to this statement on the Federal Democratic Union that was released today? What role will they play in the future Federal Democratic Union?
I already mentioned about the 3 times of coup turned our country into the fire. So we are totally fed up, and finish is finished about their role in the politics. So, but as a professional army, they will be happy to be, under the civilian government, because in the army, at least we can categorize 3 kinds of the categories. The first one is, want to be popularity and also to be a rich person because of the corrupted, institution. And the second one is those who jobless, who want to join. So the third one is who really want to commit to protect its country. So that's why there is a time for them to decide whether they are going to protect the country or to support only the elite, the top military leaders. So that's why we are also challenging the army institution, especially for those who want to be a professional army and to protect the country and to protect its own people. Despite the rest of the 2 criteria, two category is in burning and burning the country. Yeah. So that's why they doesn't have any role in the politics, but there is a way for them to be a professional army. How are we going to, reform the whole institution is based on how, the process that we are mentioned in the, the action plan in the position paper. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. I know you have to go soon too, so maybe if any of you want to ask, I knew Mei Wong you would. Okay. And Pato, you can stay a little bit longer, right? Yeah.
Hi, May from CNA. I just wanted to ask you regarding military involvement in terms of within the federal union. Obviously, it's been mentioned time and again that the military has got no place in terms of politics within the federal union. But I'm just wondering, going forward then, how likely will the ethnic armies be able to distance themselves as well from not participating in the politics of Myanmar? And also, do you see the ethnic armies coming together as one to form the People's Army under the federal union? Because every country has got a military, but it's one military. But at the moment for Myanmar, we are seeing several ethnic armies as well. So can you perhaps walk us through that? Thank you.
Thank you. Very good question. Thank you for asking questions about that. So in the our position paper, we already mentioned about all armed forces operate solely under the command of civilian government. So that is one of our objectives, which is to be as a federal army. So all the ethnic armed groups also, have to reform according to a new constitution that's been, agreed among all the stakeholders. So that's why that is the key that we are really would like to be peacefully and democratically, be under the elected government. So there will be, let's say, the current Min Aung Hlaing army will be reformed by those who really committed to be as a professional soldier, and also together with the ethnic army altogether into a new military philosophy, linked to the federal democratic, practice and principle. So that is what we are wishing, and also that is one of the key objective. That's what we need to implement. Yeah, thank you.
Right. Anyone else?
Maybe follow
Oh,
up.
Sumya. Yeah. Okay. No.
Follow up on this, particular issue. There are 577 armed groups since military coups, and also you mentioned about TJ, transitional justice. Is there any SSR DDR process under this TJ program? Because we know a lot of justice. A lot of talk about addressing justice or minimum form of justice.
Do you want to make it clear what DDR?
DDR is disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration. DDR process is UN peacekeeping, mainly in the South Africa and other area. So SSR is security sector reform. So is there any, a specific plan about DDR, SSR, under your transitional justice plan? Because you mentioned about transitional justice in your speech too.
Thank you. Transitional justice means military accountability. And also, to those who are, a kind of remedy that injustice inflicted upon innocent party throughout the conflict. So let's say, without having any military accountability, so all these military, cannot be disciplined. So that's why that is a transitional justice, process will be agreed upon, and the continuation process and implementation would be, continue among the key stakeholders. So what's happened in our country is about the Min Aung Hlaing Commodore, Min Aung Hlaing army is taking control in everywhere, including in the social. So that's why that is not about the military, responsibility. The role of the army is to defend the borderline. The security is based on the, not related to the, the army that's who have to responsible for the protection from the outside invasion. So that's why we have to reform the whole, security system for our country, and also, there will be a kind of, let's say, DDR. Of course, even we have some talk with some PDF soldier, and we discuss about what would you do after removing the coup and we gain into the new country and new system. They said, oh, I go back to my school, and I will continue I go back my home, and to resume my business, something like that. So that means, the DDR is of course, the center for this issue, but SSR is actually based on the new government form that need to be, accountable and consider about how would that new government to reform the country's security based on the threat, the external or internal threat for the country. So that's why mainly I would like to say is
That was a very inconvenient cut.
Freeze.
I wonder if it was working quite well up to now. Shall we give Pato a minute to come back,
sure.
and then...
It's going to spare out the main things.
And I would like to say, if there's anyone in the audience, we have before... Oh, Pato, so sorry, you cut out when you were just about to tell us. Tell us what you would like to say. You cut out, so maybe if you can remember what you were about to say. You cut out again. So as I was saying, we can take one or two maybe from the audience. Okay, if you can go to the microphone and identify yourself, and then we'll have more from these journalists. But please keep it short and identify yourself. So I'm not sure if Pato Tatomu is going to come back. Kuntam, can we try and get him back? Or yeah, he looks like he's frozen there. He is in the jungle. And don't forget, we have our two Karenni representatives, our CRPH representative, and sitting right here, our NUCC representative. Oh, there he is. You're back with us, Pato. So would you like to finish? You were just about to tell us what you were going to say.
okay. So I just want to say is we need a new security system, which is separate from the army and security agency. That is what I would like to mention. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. We're going to take a question from the audience and then back to the journalists. Please identify yourself and who you want to ask the question to.
Good evening. Good evening. Graham Lacourt. The discussion tonight has quite understandably been about internal actors in the scene there, of which there are many. However, just as in the Middle East there's an elephant in the room called the USA, in Myanmar surely there's a dragon and to a less extent a bear in the room called China and Russia. What are their current positions? I read, for example, that the Chinese have got a little bit tired of the lunatics in Myanmar, in the government, and have shifted their position. But do you see that as something that's happening?
Sorry, you're saying that what?
I'm saying is China and Russia, were their involvement in Myanmar, has that changed? Has it shifted? Are they important players in the scene?
Right, okay, and that is a question about are they important in the perspective of the speakers we have tonight?
Exactly. What's happening?
Okay.
In other words, the current developments, have they any input into that?
Thank you. Well, Pato, since you're on screen and we've got you online, and then maybe some of the other panel speakers would like to answer that, but continue, please.
Yes, thank you. For me, Chinese government, China also want to be Burma's stability. So that's why we have to put our common interests together. How are we going to stabilize Burma because of his lots of interests and I mean the strategic interests and also the strategic interest for us as well. So that's why that is we need a kind of opportunity for us to to share the interests and how are we going to stabilize our country. So not only China, but also India and Thailand and all the regional countries want stability. So stability must be our own common interest. It must be our common interest. So that's why if everyone, all the countries be stick on that, then there will be a solution. Thank you.
Right. Could I just add on that? There was a wide perception that Operation 1027 was very linked to China and its backing of the Three Brotherhood Alliance groups. I mean, what's your perception of the China factor vis-a-vis ethnic resistance organizations generally?
You question me?
Was it the question for him?
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. What's your perception of the Chinese role generally in the, obviously, it seems the northern groups who are obviously closer to China, KNU is actually quite far away from China, but generally from your perspective.
Yeah. My perspective is that's sharing interest, because Chinese government want to cleans up, the we call 诈骗, the how do you call it, the scam, activity.
Scam centers, yeah.
So, yeah. So from the three brotherhood sides, they need that too. So they don't want that gambling, that kind of scam business in their swai, as well as they need, because the scam business is backed by the Min Aung Hlaing and regime. So that's why that is a kind of common interest. It's soft that's clean up that scam business issue. So that's a win-win situation is there. So that's why, but that is only for the scam business issue. But broadly, if we consider about the whole stability for the country and regionally, so then we have to think about more broader how stability for Burma is very much important. So that's why that is the key that we, as I mentioned before, the stability is our common interest. So that's why in that way we can find solution.
Right. Thank you very much. And Sumyat, yes. And then.
Sorry, I would like to ask to Peru. So that, yes, you mentioned about the 1027 revolution. So, and also at the similar issue that's now General Min Aung Hlaing and Thai Army said about the online scamming in Rakhine State. So like a KK Park and also Shikoku. So that's why, is this a possibility like a Northern Shan State issue in Rakhine State?
I think the situation is slightly different, but everything is backed by Min Aung Hlaing. So that's why we need to know more about, because when the three brotherhood situation, just only bilaterally they can deal with that. But here there's a more broader stakeholder to be there. So that's why the situation and dealing with cleaning the scam business along the border might be a little bit different, and I hope they may use a different strategy, I think. Yeah, thank you. Because that's everything is backed by SEC. So that's why it's depend on how the key stakeholder to that, the crisis, is implemented. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I wonder, any of the other panelists, Kareni, CRPH or Kotoji, if you had points you would like to make. Sorry, pardon?
May I request that I need to leave and
sure.
to time to another meeting. So that's why,
well,
am I allowed to leave?
Yes, thank you very much, and we really appreciate your perseverance and how much you've tried to set up your little studio in the jungle there. So thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. So we have several panelists. Kuntam, maybe we can open. Can you show a group view? Is that possible? And I think you had a question.
Yeah, well, I could take a step back and ask a more general question in relation to what Mr. Do Jialang said about the almost collapse of the Myanmar military. and this question is also open to all the panelists as well. How would you define collapse of the military?
That's
and
a good
also,
question.
how long do you think that will take to happen?
Thank you. That's a really good question, and I hope all the panelists might want to answer this after Ko Torji. You can go first. How do you
Yes.
define collapse?
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yes, it's fine.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. It's very good question and very challenging at the same time to define the word collapse. So as you see here, nowadays inside Myanmar, the military, they send their forces, they deploy their forces in front lines, and then those all forces, almost all forces, they are ready to wave white flag and then to surrender. And then, and now our forces, our revolutionary forces physically captured about 34 towns all across the country. But, more than, let's say, more than 60 or 70% of the country, the military is well contained. Military is strictly contained by our resistance forces. In some townships, they have their military units and they have their military station and bases, but they cannot go out freely because they are contained by us. So this is, one thing. And then also, in many parts of the country, military can no longer use ground forces. So the only thing they can use is just airstrikes. And then in Rakhine, and airstrikes, and then also from their navy, So in many parts of the country, the mobility of the military is very much limited. So, and this, you can say that's nothing to do with the word collapse. Okay, but, and the surrender of the 6 brigadier generals, and then also the, fleeing of the forces into the neighboring countries. So that's military is not like, exactly, that's not like what they are expecting. And then they are now weak. They are soldiers, don't want to go to the front lines. Then, their families are in scare. And then also, also they can even, they can't order their subordinates in the way they did previously. So sometimes, Min Aung Hlaing, shouted at the regional commanders and then at the meetings, but at the same time, he tried to persuade, and then he tried to, organize the subordinate commandants, and then to stay with him. So this is the sign that the military is not strong enough at all. So, but the word collapse means it takes time, and then with implosion one day, the collapse must be a lot more faster.
Right.
So
Thank
did I
you.
answer did I answer your question?
No. Well, not quite.
No?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I can see
I'll
what
try
you
the
mean.
other
yeah.
way.
No, I guess it's about definition of collapse. I guess, and also for the other speakers, there is a perception that Naypyidaw, Yangon and Mandalay could continue for some time while the countryside collapses around them. So what would be, as Hui Yi points out, I think it's the definition of at what point does it constitute collapse. But maybe some of the other panelists, I don't know if Zuzu or Mordemia or Situ Mong, if you have any thoughts on how you see collapse? Feel free to speak.
Okay. Army is facing serious recruitment problem. I give you the specific answer. And last year, DSA, Defense Service Academy, very prestigious, intake was only 78. Their capacity is 460. It's never been, I mean, since 2001, there has never been more than 100. This year is a batch 68. It is not even that number. So that is a one indication, a specific one. So basically, they having lots of recruitment problems. That's why Godoy is saying they only merely rely on the air raid and heavy artillery. And also, I mean, about 6 brigadier general with 3,000 soldiers surrender at one point. It's not because they have firepower. They have loads of firepower, 4,000 arms, and not only small arms, big guns, and they surrender. So there is moral disintegration within armies. That's one. And this morning I asked someone from Yangon, there is a bus fee going to increase 100 to 200 jets. Used to be 300, it's going to be 400 and 500 jets. So that is also, there are a lot of economic impact about the, ordinary people. In Yangon alone, 2 million people take bus. So it started from this morning, the increase of bus fare, shortage of fuel, or cooking wines, and there is another collapse, what do you mean by the economics? And that is unavoidable because of mismanagement and all these sanctions and other problems. And also timing, it's not my word. Recently, PDF, Mandalay PDF, Kacha Lieutenant Kane, he said that he is not a combatant soldier, he is a lecturer, Defense Service Technology lecturer. He said, at the beginning, PDF, using homemade gun as an engineer, he said, it is a joke. But after 3 years, he said, if they continue with this pace, the revolution will be over within 2 years. That's not my assessment. That is a military Lieutenant Colonel who was captured by the Mandalay PDF near the menu.
Right.
So these are the first ever proper army soldier spread out about the timelines that, maybe answer your questions.
Thank you. Would any of the other panelists like to have an opinion on that? Otherwise, I would like to revive Sumyat. You had a good question about the Karenni situation before. I wonder if we want to hear from the Karenni representatives about your point, if you want to put it again, to maybe Zuzu or Mordemia.
Okay. Yes. I would like to ask Mordemia. Yes. So I pointed that about the Karenni refugees. Now mostly the population of Karenni are fleeing from armed conflict, and also why I arrived to the border area. So they are under pressure of Thai government to go inside the local area, and also but I know so the KICC and also KNPP can influence the local area. So that's why what your strategy, do you have any strategy for the refugees to protect from the conflict, and also to get their humanitarian aid for the future? Thank you.
Thank you. Mordemia.
Thank you for the question. I think Susu can also add if if she needed to add more information. So for the KSCC, we are trying to work in on this humanitarian policy, which we have this position to negotiate with all the stakeholders inside the country and also outside of the country. So for the displacement that have been pushed across the country towards Thailand, it is quite tricky that the Thailand cannot accommodate the displaced people for a long time. So with the prior relationship with KMPP and other revolutionary organizations and between local authority, we can accommodate our displaced people for a while, but for the long run, the displaced people are also being pushed back to the area inside Rakhine State. So currently we have this 15 displacement camp in Mese area and additional 2 displacement camp with a huge population in another part of Mae Hong Son, which I don't want to reveal the location, but throughout the border, of course, there are a lot of displacement. So it's not only about the displaced people push towards the border, it's also about the whole Rakhine State population of displacement. So as you already know, since the attempted coup in 2021, we have like 80% of our population are being displaced, and after Double 11 operation, I think the displacement population has reached almost 100%. So yeah, that's KSCC has now trying to work on this policy towards this for better negotiation with different international community stakeholder across this across the border issue. And additionally, Zoo can add, since the Interim Executive Council has recently formed this humanitarian department and start working on the ground to deliver the humanitarian assistance towards this displacement around the state. Additionally, we cannot say the refugee yet because the Thailand they no longer accept the newly refugee people. So yeah, that's I think the border situation might be being pushed back to the Rakhine, and then we have to handle for our own.
Thank you. Zuzu, do you want to add to that at all? Or?
Thank you for the question. I think Modinda answered already in that, but I would like to add 3 points that how we advocate to the Thai authorities and also like some kind of like the scholar from the Thailand. So for example, like we are announcing like the message border with the Thailand is we can control 100%, but it doesn't mean that every IDP can go return to their home, but not its definition is not like that, because on landmine issue, airstrike issue is already happening, and that's why we are still advocating and also still talking the border or Thai authority to allow IDP, currently IDP to stay in Thai sites until safe to return. And the second thing is to allow humanitarian assistance for displaced persons who cross over and stay in the temporary camp in Thailand. And also that's one is the final one is to allow the refer to patient to the Thai hospital, because to airstrike at big war point, civilian and also the pediatrics look at the front post and other ethnic resistance soldiers are getting displaced. That's why we have to we need health assistance to take care in the Thai side like this. So these 3 points that we call and we are speak out, and also we discussing and advocating to the Thai authority and other Thai scholar and Thai scholar. Yes.
Thank you very much. I think we'll be wrapping up soon, and I wonder if anyone in the audience might want to ask a question.
Gwen, can I?
Yes, absolutely, ma'am.
Sorry, I just wanted to ask our Karenni friends, what is the level of communication that you have with the Thai government at this point? And also for CRPH as well, if you can come in on this, in terms of your level of communication with the Thai government. And earlier it was mentioned that any humanitarian organizations or CSO should not be working with the Myanmar Red Cross because they are the proxy institution of the SAC. But we know that next week, for example, Thailand's foreign minister, Pan Pri, is headed to Mesok to actually look at the potential humanitarian center site to be set up to allow for this so-called humanitarian corridor. So I'm just wondering, what realistically do you think can happen in terms of humanitarian aid delivery if the Thai government was to appoint both Thai Red Cross and the Myanmar Red Cross to work on this? Thank you.
Thanks, May. Shall we start with one of you, Zuzu, or and later Situ Mong, if you are listening, are you still with us? Let's see who comes on. Would one of the Karenni representatives want to talk about that?
Okay.
Maybe one of you want to turn on your camera, or we've got a lot of black screen going on here.
I'm worried that internet connection.
Okay, all right. So
Right.
carry on. Level of Thai involvement or connection with Thai government, and
Yes, it's also a good question, and it still have a challenge to explain like how we are build a relationship with the Thai government. So the first thing is IEC is only 7-month age, and then so we are trying to set up our department and other strategy, and also to deliver services to the people. So as a civil society organization who are working for the humanitarian issue, like we have a coordination, and then they are collaborate with the Thai CSO organization who support the Myanmar revolution and also the humanitarian issue. So I mean, like as a civil society organization, like they have a good connection. They have a good connection, but the government side, like for example IEC. So to be honest, like Thai government does not recognize IEC as a government. I don't know even like NUG. So that's why very difficult to explain like and also build a relationship with the as a government body like IEC with the Thai side. So but we have some relationship with the border issue, maybe like KMPP and other ethnic resistance organization from the Karenni have been good relationship with the Thai authority who are based in border, something like that. So like we are not yet speak and not yet build relationship with as a two government body like this. So yeah, that's why we are still advocating and we are still engaging with the border authority person. And then do not only humanitarian issue, also the health issue and also immigration issue. So yes, that kind of thing like we are connecting, but not as a government body that they recognize yet. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. And how about your feelings about working with the Red Cross and the involvement of Myanmar Red Cross?
To be honest, I don't know that issue. I don't know, like IEC is not working with not Red Cross, but maybe other like Karenni civil society organization or other Karenni organization will be work with them. But as a IEC is, we don't, not working yet.
Okay. Thank you. Well, I think May's point was really the proposal is to bring in Red Cross on both sides, but as she said, Myanmar Red Cross really is broadly an extension of the SAC being appointed by or working as part of the SAC, really. Nothing on that. Situ Mong, are you there? Are you with us? Hello? Maybe he's also off on another. Situ Mong? No. Okay. I think we've lost Situ Mong. So I think actually at this point, since it's nearly 9 o'clock, we may wrap up unless there's a burning question in the audience for any of the panelists. Oh, Mr. Davis, yes? Oh, after.
I was just wondering if...
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, Tony Davis, Jane's Defence Publications. I was just wondering if, by way of wrapping up, the panel who are here in the room could very briefly give us their thoughts on how things may develop in the coming months. We have a...
That's a very big question, Tony.
Well, I mean...
Okay.
As brief as, or as long as they want to make it. I have time, so...
Okay. And we'll just hear the other question.
Okay, thank you. I'm Nadia. I used to work in elections in Myanmar. Thank you, May, for your questions about the trans-border coordination between Myanmar Red Cross and Thailand Red Cross. My question is, this happened, under the negotiations of ASEAN and Thailand role with Myanmar. So we just heard today SAC saying elections are coming soon. I want to know, because this legitimate this kind of actions on the international level, kind of legitimate the role of the militaries in the international level, right? So my question is for KSAC and the other stakeholders, what is your feeling about this statement of elections coming? Maybe I'm wrong, coming from this negotiation under the ASEAN, worry and the role of Thailand, because this is kind of, coincidence at this time.
Sorry, to just clarify, are you asking the panelists what is their feeling about the election proposal and plan of the SAC?
Exactly. Because
okay.
it means that this is coming from this effort, new effort from ASEAN region to settle down Myanmar issue that was for a long time the issue nobody wants to talk about.
So I think that might be a question for Situmong if he's still with us. But yes. Let's first start with Tony's question. The immediate, I presume you mean, Tony, the immediate months ahead, given everything we've heard. Yes? So should we maybe give the floor to Kotorji to kick that one off? Your feeling about the coming months?
Yes, I think I mentioned a little bit in my presentation, and this is for year 2024. Let's see, maybe now in in January, the end of January, or 11 months, or maybe 6 months. Let's say. So we are planning to convene the Second People's Assembly, and then we invite all the revolutionary stakeholders. Then we'll discuss and decide the way forward and some key next steps. So this is what we plan to do in March. Mm-hmm. Then now we are meeting with the key revolutionary stakeholders on a separate basis, and to find possibilities for the common political agreement. And we met with a number of the key revolutionary stakeholders. But I don't want to mention their exact names. And then we met one another, and then we formed the NUCC. We formed the operation team. The operation team is now working, tirelessly. For those meetings with the stakeholders. Revolutionary stakeholders, we mean that both inside and also outside NUCC, let's say. So we are meeting. We are now organizing meetings with them, and to exchange information, and then to explore similarities and differences, and their feelings and their opinions on federal democracy charter we developed. Then if there are some similarities, we're trying to expand the similarities, and then if there are differences, we are also trying to mitigate or minimize their differences, and then find the possibilities to a common political agreement. Then now we are in the final, stage of discussion to continue transitional arrangements and transitional constitution drafting. And then, but we have, we have some uncertainties that whether we can, be finished, drafting the transitional constitution in the year 2024. But at least maybe, we may not be finished drafting the transitional constitution by the end of 2024, but at least we can roll out what we have achieved so far by the end of 2024 regarding the transitional constitution and transitional arrangements. These are the next steps, let's say. That's what we are going to focus in 2024.
And what if the junta fell tonight, ran away or imploded?
They just extend another segment of work. I'll be quick, Tony. From military point of view, there will be more fighting right after the Chinese New Year. You know how important Chinese are. They even have to wait for their Chinese New Year. Because, they season a lot of firepower. 4,000 guns, and not only small guns, artillery and the aircraft gun in the north, and also in Arakan. And then, resistance has more firepower. Why are they waiting? Chinese New Year. I know that you write for the military analysis. So I'm not a fortune teller, but I can tell you there will be more military operation right after the Chinese New Year in Burma, Myanmar. There will be more territorial seize. Because I think those three brotherhoods, their military objective is to capture either Lashu or Memyo, because of which is a very, very significant town. So there will be more seizing or territory by resistance, but you have to wait after the Chinese New Year. That is what I can say. But about the election, actually yesterday very few people noticed that there is an amendment of election law. Like they reduce, if you are a contest union level, you need to have 100,000 membership. So they reduce it to 50,000. And also you have to open the offices in half of the township, and they reduce it to 1/3. So which means that also the mainland already spread out. There will be census in August. So that is a SAC exit strategy. Then there will be proposed election in 2025. But I don't know how he can physically carry it out, because of Burma, Myanmar, 43% of territory is not in SAC hands. It's by the resistance, physically impossible. But like Guan said, shockingly normal places like Yangon, Mandalay, a few areas that they will do a kind of sham or whatever. Chinese also want a kind of legitimacy. So there will be a lot of planning for, this amendment of election law and census. So that is a SAC exit strategy. They will be a bit nicer to some non-security threat like humanitarian assistance or aid. That's what ASEAN is very busy at the moment. Before that, almost impossible. It is a dead end. But now they start, relaxing on non-security setup. But for sure, wait after the Chinese New Year, there will be more fighting.
Thank you very much. So I think we'll just put it to our Karenni representatives, and Sitimong, if you're there. Do any of you have a thought on those two questions, the elections, what you feel about that, or Tony's question about the coming months?
Okay, I will add 2 points. So number one is about
this is Zuzu, is it?
Yeah, I'm Zuzu.
Yes, thank you.
So for the coming months, CR already mentioned a lot of the activities at NUCC and also the scenarios the coming month. So for me, I'm in very support to the local administration with the approach of bottom up and to come out with the other federal unit like IEC and like KSCC, so that for me, to next coming month or next 3 months within this year, most of the federal units area, they will become out like the consultative council or the administration body, especially in Chin or other than area. So it is very important. So I hope that there will be come out, and also the international community should be support and recognize that platform as well. For the election issue, so from my point, to my opinion, so I don't worry that SAC, the hunter, can be, run the election issue. But I would like to discuss in here, I would like to share in here is we have to think about things out of the box of the legitimacy issue. So the election legitimacy, the legitimacy given from the election is just limited. So you can see right now, especially, and for example, in the Crony, so we are combining judicial, de facto, de jure, and also we are combining like 3 legitimate issues. Number 1 is process legitimacy from the election. The second one is outcome legitimacy from the people. So like our civil society organization, women organization, youth, and also the ERO, they have their own outcome legitimacy from their public, their people, so that we have to think out of the box from the election results. So like that is one example that we are in Crony. We do like inclusive and collective leadership, and we build our own political platform like the KSCC and also administration, executive council like IEC, and also we combine the result of 2020 election from the union and also the state level who went from 2020 election, like from the Crony people, Crony representative. So that's also, for me, like I don't worry at that, and also I don't believe that SEC can run in this year also about the election. So, and also we have to think out of the box and also recognize that outcome legitimacy from the people. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And I think on that note, unless anyone if any of the panel would like to say anything more, no? I think we'll just say thank you very much to our panelists and Koto, yeah.
So last but not least, regarding the election, the NUCC and the NUG, we formed the anti-sham, election joint working committee. Then we already developed the, anti-sham election policy and also the action plan. Then, if actually, we believe that the SEC is not legitimate at all to call that election. And then they have no right also to do it either. But, in prevention of that, sham election from happening, we have the anti-sham election JWC, and then we have our policy and action plans already. So, but we strongly believe that the election, now proposed by the SEC will never, ever happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Koto. So can we just have a big hand to our panelists? Thank you very much. And thank you very much, Zuzu and Mordema. Situmong had to leave us. He sends his apologies. Also, just to remind, there is a little collection jar at the reception if you want to contribute to the FCCT's Myanmar Media Support Fund, and keep an eye on our website and Facebook for more events. So thank you very much all.
Thanks, Gwen.
Thank you.